You are listening to an exclusive interview on Bass Musician Magazine. The interview starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, surprise, surprise. It's not too often that you actually get to see stuff like this, which is why we're bringing you this shit right now. Here we are in FREEKBASS's closet, and I decided, well, I might as well go in my closet at the same time and do tribute to him. We can talk about the one thing that I've seen a lot of people that they don't necessarily consider to be important in the music business or in the creation part of it, but I finally met my match. FREEKBASS in his closet. Here we go. What's up, bro?
I'm glad you came and joined me here in my magical place. Bass Musician Magazine put me back into the closet.
Let's talk about your fascination with clothes and coordinating outfits. When did this all start?
Both music and the visual side of music both became fascinations for me at the same time. David Bowie when I was a kid was a big influence of mine, and I was always fascinated by seeing his videos, and his whole visual look would actually help interpret the music too as well. It happened very organically at the same time. I think I joked in a different part of the interview, but it's true. I almost feel when I'm wearing what people would consider like street clothes, that's when I feel more like when I'm dressing up. This feels more comfortable to me. I mean, it feels more natural, I guess, to me.
How do you shop for your stuff? Do you have secret places that you like to go check out, or do you get it designed and made, or a combination of both?
Definitely a combination of both. A lot of my stuff I wear is done by Angie Wilson, who does a lot of my management stuff for me too as well. She's a clothing designer too as well, has a great eye for fashion, and has actually directed a couple of our videos too. Some of it is just, odd places a lot of times on the road. Like we always stop at a lot of truck stops on the road. You'd be surprised, there's like just weird little quirky things you'll find. I mean, it might be out of 1,000 things you'll see in there, there'll be this one little weird quirky thing that you'll never see anywhere else. It's art, too, as well. As much as music is, that's, fashion and clothing and the whole visual medium. I mean, that's art just like everything else is.
What I love about what you're saying, you're collecting, like people collect pedals and instruments. You collect different pieces, whether it's accessories or different pieces of clothes, a hat, different kind of glasses. And then you can intermix and layer all that shit together and mix it up between high designer stuff and thrift shop stuff, and actually wind up creating such a beautiful hybrid. Some people are just really cool in just jeans and a frickin' t-shirt, and there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that when you start paying attention to those micro details, it becomes like music production, actually.
Even going back to, like, say, someone like a band like the Sex Pistols, for instance, that they were almost anti-fashion. And they had, people like Vivienne Westwood, who's clothing designer, but designing theirs. They were getting all that stuff with all the holes and all that kind of stuff. That was a vision that someone presented to them, and that's the vision they took forward to as well, and that reflected their music.
I love the way you know your freaking history. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know this, let me tell you the truth about what he just said, is that Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren had a store in England. They decided that the Sex Pistols were going to be their new freaking promotion campaign, and this was how they were going to advertise their store.
It was branding. Before
branding really existed as we know it.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, and especially, they all feel like they're all movements that kind of are happening in the ethos together, with the punk movement and the whole Vivienne Westwood and Malcolm McLaren thing. In the 80s, you had the whole new romantic movement with bands like Duran Duran in Japan and stuff like that. In the States, we had here with the whole grunge movement of the early 90s too as well.
How far do you go in your personal closet management, bro? Going in there and really separating your shit out.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm definitely down. I'm very type A, so I'm definitely right there for that. Keeping things separated where you know exactly where they are. And because I actually have a little certain hiding places for my sunglasses. Not because I'm trying to hide them from people, but just more about where I know they are. Especially the more delicate ones, that you're saving for maybe a special show or appearance or whatever the case may be. So yeah, definitely that's part of the process for sure.
Yeah, because grabbing and wearing is a really interesting thing. I've gone as far as to say, hey, let me spend a couple of hours and make some pre-outfits that I don't normally wear. So you get a hanger, here's the top, here's the pants, here's the shoes, here's the bracelets, here's the glasses. I hook it all up on this one thing and then I hang it up. And if you do this 15 times, you have 15 grab and wear outfits pretty much like being organized in the studio for plug and play, right? Different basses, different preamps that basically give you that insta plug, oh now, I don't gotta spend 10 fucking years trying to get a sound that's gonna happen right now.
Right, well, and the other thing you have to think now with social media being so strong too as well, I'm always conscious of, used to be just like, a few years back where you could wear like this one same outfit for 3 or 4 shows in a row because that new town will be seeing you. But with social media, it doesn't work that way anymore because pictures are going up online 20 minutes later,
Let's explain to our peeps out there the amazingness of layering of clothes, which is the equivalent to layering some freaking tracks, people. I love layering shit that shouldn't be together. Sometimes I even put 2 or 3 baseball hats on at the same time and spin them around, do some different kind of stuff. What's your opinion on that? Layering, give us some trips.
I love it combining and awkward, you're right, the color thing, especially color scheme where, sometimes it's great to be all matching one color, but sometimes it's almost as cool to put like, even different shades, like, more of like an orangey red mixed with a more of a fire engine red, it's still all in the red family, but it's these like, what you're not supposed to match those shades, and that's almost that contrast, that contrast is what makes it kind of work.
Yeah, it's like you're building depth onto yourself. I'm a big fan of different shades of the same color in order to create that kind of, it almost makes shit look 3D,
Filters are used so much like on platforms like Instagram and stuff, it's almost kind of like you're giving yourself like real filters.
And how important is the look and the clothes when it comes to your everyday life and your career?
The cake is still always the music. I love icing, but if that cake doesn't, which I think of the music, that cake doesn't taste good to start with, you can put all the icing on the world on the cake and that's not going to make the cake taste better. One thing, a lot of times I think people, and this might be worth mentioning too about fashion and clothes, especially in regards to music, this is not like a gimmick for me. This is not like, hey, this will really get, again, this is just who I feel and who I am. It's like I'm not trying to, hey, this is like something to try to get your attention. If you like what I'm doing, great. If you hate what I'm doing and that gets a rise out of you, that's cool too. But this, love it or hate it, this is kind of who I am, and this is kind of the way I look and the way I want to look.
It gets tiring after a while. I was at a point where I was changing 4 times a day, every day, and I didn't have to wear the same thing for almost a year. I had that much clothes. I'm a lot better now because at one point I was a real whore about, collecting clothes and stuff like that. But I could see that I've met my total match, and I can't tell you that you're not a bigger fucking fashion pig than I ever was.
Compliment coming from you, Momo, for sure.
Right-hand corner over there, I'm seeing peeking out your freak show freaking double neck bass. What is that over there? That fabric is flowing, it's light, it's non-cumbersome, and it lets you flow with your shit. Oh, damn!
Yeah, it's got the back, it's got the end, which makes it lighter in the back too as well. Same tuning system that he has on his normal basses too as well. And this piccolo bass is he actually makes a separate one. They're called the Stinger that he makes. That's this part right here. Get that loop going. And then get that going, you can get some that on the bottom, so you just get a whole little symphony created with it too as well. And obviously, besides even being an amazing instrument, it's just sitting there, it's a nice, cool looking piece of artwork almost on its own. Tom's stuff has a very almost like Frank Lloyd Wright-ish of basses to it, You
are ready right now to get up on a stage and fucking kill people.
Right. Well, this instrument definitely gives you the confidence to do it. It's great piece.
Not very often that you get to hear that closet talk from bass players.
I remember seeing an interview with David Byrne, and he always gets asked about the big, huge suit he would wear during Stop Making Sense, and he said, I wanted to figure out a way to make my head look smaller, so I knew I had to make a very big suit. Sums it all up.
Thanks for bassing out with us here on BassMusicianMagazine.com.